I'm Nikolai. I am the co-founder of Nunc Real Estate, and we are trying to make the Berlin rental market a little bit easier because right now it's just horrible to get a flat. It's super annoying because out of 500 applicants, only 10 get invited for a viewing, and only one, of course, gets the flat. It takes a lot of experience actually to know how to apply and how to have the highest chances, or even, a chance in the first place. So we're trying to improve that by building a better product for both sides, the landlords and the renters. We at Nunc and my co-founder Darius and I, we sat down in this, very car to discuss our backstory, where we're coming from, where we want to go, what our thinking is like, just to package all of the insights that we've had so far. I would say we're still, like a 2 out of 10 kind of founder, but we wanted to create this podcast to show where we're coming from, that, later on we can say, oh, this is how we used to be and this is where we are now. I think it's actually a little interesting if you know one of the two of us or if you're curious about our backstory. So without further ado, the very first episode of the Nunc Founders Podcast.
What's up, guys? Welcome.
What's up, everybody? We are trying to be content creators today. I'm Nikolai. This is Darius. We're co-founders of a startup called Nunc Immo, which is real estate in Berlin. We're trying to improve the rental market a little bit. In Berlin, it's horrible. It takes so much work to find a rental contract. It's very annoying. And we feel that it hasn't really been brought to the digital age yet.
Yeah. So where existing services are on the internet and digital, they are not digital native. That's what you call it. I really like how you describe this. So they are digital, they are on the internet. You can send messages and view offerings, but they don't have anything smart except for basic filters. They're not really using the digital modality in any
to improve the process of
way.
finding.
Yeah, the process is the same as in medieval times.
Yeah, more or
just
less.
On the internet.
Just a fun fact, there's a small town in Germany where in 15-something, a wealthy merchant created a foundation which owns some rental flats. In his foundational contract, which cannot be changed, that's just how it works, foundations, says that these flats are always supposed to be rented for, I think, 5 guilds. And now, in current times, these flats still exist, the foundations still exist, of course, because German law has a long history. They are rented for I think €5.50 per month or something, which is the, translated conversion of this creation document.
They don't even inflation adjust or something?
No.
It's just
inflation adjusted would be against the contract. He wanted to help people in need to find cheap rental space.
So it was already very little back in the days.
It was not expensive. They kept the same price because he didn't consider that currencies might change, that there's inflation and so on. It's quite interesting. It's called the Fuggerei. You can look it up if you want.
What's their runway?
These houses are owned outright, so almost infinite. Anyways, we are trying to improve the rental market in Berlin, at least a little bit. We're trying to slice off something to make it more easy for people who are interested in new solutions. Darius and I, we have a pretty long friendship. We're both late 20s and we've known each other for be friends with for 15 years almost. And for most of those 15 years, we try to create companies together. It started in school with a project called Smart Cart. It was 2015, I think. Yeah, 2015, where you can, just load stuff into your shopping cart, go out of the store and just checks you out, everything automatic. We even built a prototype with the full stack of the server and everything.
We might have skipped a couple of things, but we had something we called a prototype.
Yeah, I think it's still valid what we did. Then we left school. Then we had this idea of a privacy-focused cloud. At that point, we were still pretty naive around how to run a business, how to create a business. A business is the combination of building something and then selling it. And we really only focused on building something.
And we really focused on building Google scale stuff.
Yeah.
With 0 users.
It helped a lot. I gained a lot of skills, you gained a lot of skills, it got us great jobs.
For sure, yeah.
So we built this privacy cloud product where you could create your VPS and had SSH access and networking. It was pretty decent, I would say. But we had no customers. And then after I built it, we realized maybe we should get some customers. And then we thought, who's going to buy this actually? And then we didn't really find a gap in the market. So we threw that aside. But then we had a small detour. We didn't really lose track of the privacy focus, where we built an email service, like a webmail service with privacy focus. That's still running to this day. We actually just upgraded it because, it's just friends and family who are using it.
Yeah, and I think deprecating emails is hard, right?
Yeah.
You can never really stop running an email service.
But it's fine. It doesn't really cost much in maintenance or in running costs. So it's okay. We built that. Then we took a short break. I tried to launch a startup with some other people, which utterly failed because startups are as much about the product as they are about teams. Actually, more about the team and the people than the product. There was a fight, it was 2 co-founders and they fought with each other. I started disliking them because they fought and the way they fought with each other and didn't try to find a solution.
I read that most startups fail either because people just give up or because they have co-founder drama.
Yeah. I mean, we've known each other for a long time. We've tried a lot of times. And then somehow we landed on this idea to help the Berlin rental market because we both faced the problem. We're both living in Berlin.
Looking for a flat is something that we very personally experience how bad it is currently. The market is ripe for change.
Yeah, these platforms which are horrible. People are annoyed left and right. There's way too less flats to rent.
Which we can't fix. But it kind of exacerbates how bad these other platforms are.
Yeah.
And I think dog fooding is maybe also
it helps.
Keyword here.
Yeah, it helps.
So I would really like to use the thing that we are building.
Yeah. I mean, it's not so advanced in technology. The idea came from an AI background, but in the end, it's just about getting everyone onboarded onto this idea. Like ImmoScout has this almost monopoly. I would say it's like 70% market share or something. This is a guess. I haven't looked up the numbers, but in Mindshare, it's about 70%. And there's some other platforms, but they all work in the exact same way. So what we're trying is to build a new platform where we can't fix the lack of supply, but we can at least make it easier to find the rental flat. Right now, you have to apply and send about 100 messages per day to even have a chance at success.
And even then, it takes months sometimes.
Yeah, not sometimes, all the time. Unless you earn really, really well, it takes really a long time to find a place to live. We are addressing this issue by helping landlords, owners, property managers, brokers, to find renters more easily, because when sending 100 messages, the opposite side of that is receiving 100 messages and having to filter it. Last week, we went to meet with property managers and got their insights and experiences, and they are really narrowing down like 500 renter applicants get narrowed down to 10 people in the viewing, get narrowed down to 2 or 3, which are going to meet with the owner, and then 1 party, which is going to sign the contract, which is a lot of work. You know, imagine you're managing a few hundred properties, which can easily happen if you manage a few buildings here and there in Berlin. And then let's say average rental duration is 5 or 6 years. I think it's increasing because the rent's not increasing that much in existing contracts. But let's say 5 or 6 a year. That's still a decent amount of work that you have to do.
I still want to talk about one point that you mentioned, how we started this idea from the LLM hype. Did we need LLMs to start this?
No. And we didn't really use them. It was an anchor point, like, LLMs are here, new technology. We should analyze new markets of how to use this. Like at that time, we were brainstorming new business ideas, and we had like weird ideas of using AI to extort companies. This might come off across as weird, but like the idea was...
I mean, that's a funny internal name we had. I guess the idea was that we help them fulfill legal obligations, where the product is so good that they feel extorted to use it.
I mean, like banking, when they have to reject loan applications or these kind of things.
So what they, for example, need AI transparency, right? They need to explain how this decision came to be. But if an AI does it, it's hard.
Inherently not explainable.
But they must do it. So, and if there's no solution and we come up with something, this is where the name came from. They have to,
exactly.
Whatever it costs, they have to use a product, which was also an interesting way to think about it.
Anyways, that was one of the ideas. This new AI wave at the end of 2022 prompted us to reevaluate the markets that we've already looked at, and real estate was one of them. We really went backwards. We first tried with the landlords, then we tried with the renters, and now we've come full circle. We're trying with the landlords again because we've proven that we can find interested renters to use our product and pay for a contract if we have success to find one for them. And now we're talking to landlords to understand their problem, which we are sort of understanding now. And we realized, okay, now we have to make ourselves known. In the past, we ran Google Ads, which was fine to experiment, to validate quickly. It was also kind of expensive, but it's fine. But now we realized that we are never going to sign up a property manager on a cold Google Ads form ad. It's just not going to happen.
I mean, maybe, but the cost is going to be very high because you don't have the intent-based...
No, the intent we have, but like we don't have any trust. Like in the beginning, we focused on private owners, people who have like 1 or 2 flats. They might Google how to find a renter. Not how to find a renter, but more of what mistakes to avoid when finding a renter. These kind of queries. But then we have the inherent trust issue. They're going to land on a landing page and we're just going to try to sell them. Yeah, that's not going to work. So we need a longer funnel, ideally some content. And like separate from all of this stuff, like in the beginning of the year, I started a new journey of content creation. I took a coaching, which was a good deal at the time. I just took it because I've been interested in it for about 10 years at this point. I never really acted on it because I didn't have the skills or the idea of how to progress. And the software engineering thing was working well enough. But I took that coaching, I'm getting better at it and so on. And now we've kind of come full circle again, where we're trying to make content for 2 funnels. One for the renters, as in we're giving tips on how to do good applications, how to present yourself well, how to have the right selection, how to write good messages, these kind of things. We're just going to build trust with the renters. And at the same time, initially we thought we have to make general purpose content for property managers, how to be a good property manager, how to help your owners, these kind of things. But we face a pretty severe issue, which is that we're not property managers. So teaching it is pretty difficult. But then I had an insight that we can just narrow down. The advice is to niche down always. And we can just provide content on how to find a good renter. And people are going to gravitate to that. People are going to realize that we know what we're talking about. In this case, we actually do know what we're talking about. We're both real estate owners. We're both renting out stuff as well. And we've seen the other side way too often, way too much, that we know what works and what doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
So we can really provide some value. And over time, with repetition, like repetition builds trust, we're going to have an audience which has some inherent trust with us. And against that audience, we can run ads, we can go to conferences. We have this pre-warm, pre-filled, preemptive trust that we can then use and convert for people to try our product.
What do you mean run ads? Like post content that just refers to our product?
I mean, the idea is to have content about tutorials, what to do, checklists, contract details, these kind of things.
And like include a C2A.
Exactly, include
that
a C2A.
They can sign up. Mm-hmm.
Not that they can sign up with the product, but maybe as a, try this demo here. Just
Got
guiding
it.
them step by step, but very slowly. The more slow, the better, actually. And in the beginning, they don't have to use our product exclusively. They're just going to run their old process. We're going to pitch, hey, what if we run our process for free on the site? See if these results are going to be the same. Are you satisfied with it? No risk, because you're still doing your own thing. This doesn't take any work.
Yeah, I really like this time. And what makes me more hopeful is how long we have thought about who to approach. Like there are so many different landlords who can approach: investment companies, managers, private ones,
brokers.
LinkedIn, brokers as well. We might even go for brokers because many management companies use brokers. So we might still end up doing that. And we thought long and hard about who to approach and why and how to provide this Grand Slam offer.
Yeah.
So this is by Alex Hormozy.
Yes.
So the Grand Slam offer, basically his examples are crazy.
His first offer was like, I will gift you customers. I will take the first 6 months of revenue.
He takes the revenue of the customers, of the new customers.
For a few months, but after that you have free customers.
Yeah, so basically the crazy thing about the Grand Slam offer is you just get free money.
Yeah.
What he ignores is that people go there and use the stuff, so that's somewhat of a cost, but
it works.
On paper it's just you pay nothing and you get money. And our offer now is also crazy because we are like a broker for free. And we thought about how to approach them, how to turn up in their office and hand them a QR code. We already have all their data in our system, so they just scan the code, they're on there.
And within 2 minutes, they have a list of 10 perfectly pre-selected, pre-vetted, pre-confirmed, salary, Schufa, everything, renters.
Yeah. Are we now almost doing it the other way around? Are we selling before we are building? Or would you say it's on the same? Or
No.
Okay.
We've built a lot, but like none of that is valuable right now. In the past, we tried to automate message sending onto ImmoScout, which was an idea, but it has the same trust issue that we outlined before. Now we are really doing the opposite. We're selling, like content is like a mini sale of sorts. We're selling and seeing and building trust and interest and so on. And then when it's becoming unbearable, when people really, really want our product, then we can provide it to them.
Yeah.
Even there, we've come full circle. But I think we found a model now which seems long-term sustainable. Like in the past, it was always about, we just have to find the first few customers and then we can hire someone for sales, which is never going to work.
Yeah. I think in general, we learned that we can kind of do everything as long as we get better at it.
Exactly.
As long as we have a feedback cycle. So that's why sales is so cool, because we now also dare to go to management companies and talk to them and validate everything. It turns out that we had most assumptions right.
Yeah.
Which is cool. You get feedback and then you can get into a conversation with them and immediately get this feedback.
Exactly. And then the separate side of that is that creating content and doing this asynchronously is a better fit to our personalities than doing this bro-style sales, like, hey, check out my product kind of thing. I mean, we both sell stuff all the time to friends and families where we know the product helps and so on. And this content thing helps because we understand who we're talking to, we know what to do, and like I said, it's an extension of our personalities.
So the interesting thing about content is we don't really know who we're talking to. And this is also something Henrik Carlson said. We have to mention him again because we did in the other podcast. What Henrik Carlson said is that every type of content, he talks about blog posts, but I think every type of content you put out there is like a search query. So you put out the content, and I mean, so much is algorithmically controlled, which also has its drawbacks, but it's just going to find whoever resonates with it.
So, if you do it enough, that's the key part.
Yeah.
If you do it once, I mean, I've published about 15 shorts on YouTube and about 8 long form videos. And
within 2 weeks? 1 week?
No, the shorts within 2 weeks, the long form is last few months.
Yeah, I mean the
long form,
shorts,
I'm just getting back on track right now. I'm redesigning the process so it fits my style, my workflow, and so on. The coaching was good. It was very good. I learned a lot, but the style of post-production didn't really suit of how I live my life.
So in what way? Can you give some insight here?
It was vibe-based content. It was more about how you feel when watching it and so on. It was not so educational. And the things he taught, like shooting proper B-roll, having music in the edit and so on, and like title cards which look fancy and so on. It's not that important apart from the first, let's say, 30 seconds of long form. It doesn't really matter as long as you provide value and you provide it in a cohesive way with good transitions.
So they were more about entertainment, about aesthetic videos.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. And I'm more shifting towards the educational branch, which fits me better because I really like teaching. Like I really enjoy doing that. So I've been posting content. I'm not successful yet. I have like 10 subscribers. I have a few views on my long form. The short form works a little better, but I think also because I've improved since my last long form video. But the recommendation is like alongside some weird poker videos or like the best Islamic schools in Kuwait. Like these random associations, at least to me, they seem random. Maybe there is a pattern there that YouTube recognized, but I don't think so. Otherwise, it would have kept promoting my video. So I think the YouTube algorithm is still searching for who my audience is. And they're not going to waste and put a lot of risk into showing it to everybody. Of course, if they did, they would find something. But to them, they also have to see, okay, what quality is this video? How much of this data I'm getting is just lack of quality, this is not good, or improper association? I think it's a bit of both. The more you do it, the more shots you get at YouTube checking out and trying to compare it to others. Because one, it can match your videos together. And two, because it's just going to try more times. Each video is going to try once more. That's what I was saying. Like you said, every content is a query for someone, but that query only happens over a long time period. If you keep doing it consistently, only then it's going to happen.
Yeah, I guess with YouTube, for example, it's literally querying. So it's not just symbolically query, it's actually just querying for who likes the content.
That's the job of YouTube. YouTube tries to connect interests and people who provide something interesting.
I guess there's also this aspect, maybe it's not too interesting for now, but at least on X, I know, or Twitter, they penalize content that links out too much, right?
Yeah.
They also want to keep you on the platform. So ideally you have long videos with long viewing times.
Long retention.
I don't know how it works with the shorts, basically something where they don't quit the app and do something else.
A short is also retention. You can swipe to the next video. That's the key indicator for short videos. If you keep watching that, then okay, you have a high association that this is interesting. Anyways, we're running this content strategy still a little slowly because we're still figuring things out in the subject. I think in content creation itself, I'm really getting up to speed. I feel more of a content creator than a software engineer right now by vocation.
Oh, really?
Yeah, definitely. You should watch my latest reel. I was talking about that.
I'm not yet at that point.
Yeah, but I'm publishing like 10 reels per week, so it's a high frequency.
Yeah, I'm recording up to 20 takes per day, which are not published yet. It's been a journey. Interesting one.
Definitely interesting. But I mean, the key lesson here is that we know what to do. We're playing a game where time works in our favor, not against us.
Yeah.
And while at least I'm slightly impatient, you could say it's something that's going to pay off over the long run, which is good. We're not looking for this explosive bang, which usually fades as quickly as it comes, but we're trying to build something sustainable over the long run that really compounds into something huge.
Are you ever worried that we are too slow, that someone else is going to come up? Because in the last podcast, we talked about Get the Flat and Friends Flats, or you had all these other startups you mentioned. What do you think about time and our idea?
I think it's not so important anymore. In the past, we tried this automation of ImmoScout, and there it's direct competition. Like the mode is software engineering, which we're good at. So it's definitely a mode that we have, but it's non-sustainable for two reasons. One, people can just copy it, like do it themselves and then compete with us. And two, ImmoScout might find out and they don't like that, obviously. But in this case, we want to make the rental market good, and that's going to work as long as we have relationships with both people who are looking for flats and people who can provide them. If we're building these trust assets with people who have control over flats, we can always use that. We can always use these assets. It doesn't really matter what product we put on top. The core asset is the trust, and that is a huge moat. That's the biggest moat.
Yeah, that also makes it hard to get in right now. Although we have noticed they're very open. You can at least
I don't think it's that difficult to get in.
Talk to many people.
I think it's just a matter of doing it.
Yeah, but so you say trust is a moat.
Yeah.
But that means there is nothing else right now? There's no one who...
Not so much. Like for this specific niche, finding new flats, ImmoScout is a monopoly, so by default, but there's not really trust in that, at least with the people we talked about. It's just a necessity. It's the easiest way of doing it. What are you going to do? Like insert in a newspaper? Unlikely. So we are building trust around, we know what we're doing when it comes to finding new flats or finding renters.
Yeah, no one really trusts them, I would say. So they kind of use it because everyone is on there. The mind share is crazy. Like when people look for a flat, they don't Google even for a flat, right? They just go to ImmoScout.
Yeah. ImmoScout is the de facto search engine for flats.
They are really cranking up the prices, as far as I understand. They don't really offer AI integrate. Okay, I don't want to hate too much on ImmoScout, but maybe
just a little bit.
Just a little bit. AI, right? So we thought about LLMs, and then we came up with Nunc and the whole...
I mean, you are literally an AI researcher, and I am working for an AI center of excellence as my day job. I'm using AI, I'm building with AI every single day. My team uses AI as tools. My team uses AI to build products. My team uses AI in products.
But we're still just two people.
Yeah.
And what ImmoScout came up with, like as far as I know, this is the only AI thing they have, is that when you have the pictures of a flat, you can select from different furnishing styles. And it kind of like badly generates this flat furnished in that style.
I mean, they have a separate AI feature, which is you can describe your flat.
Oh, right. They have this,
No, they didn't do it in a cool way. Generate embeddings, like a multimodal embedding of images and text and so on, and then they match the embedding with the text embedding you have. No, they're just translating this text into the filters they already have.
Yeah, it just fills out the checkboxes. So what you can't do, for example, is search. And these are some things I would like to have at some point. They're not important now. But you can't, for example, search for a bright flat.
Yeah.
Because there's no filter.
Or how many minutes does it take with U-Bahn to reach my workplace?
Right. They don't have it.
How close is the nearest grocery store? The fact is that ImmoScout has mindshare, but they don't have trust share. And even if they start building trust now, they can only do it as fast as we can do it. Sure, they have more people and they can increase the production of content and so on. Like they could really get better at it. But the whole vibe of the company culture is not around excellence, not about improving. It's not about doing a great job. It's more of a maintenance kind of culture.
But I guess what we've seen and what you have personally experienced, that within large companies like yours, you can have like a small startup vibe company. So why is ImmoScout not doing this?
You can only have that if you have buy-in from leadership.
Yeah, but if they're losing this monopoly, they're very comfortable position, but insanely high margins.
It doesn't look like they're losing the monopoly.
No, I mean, but when we come in,
then that's the point. Then it's too late.
It's too late
because then they have to catch up with all the trust share that we have, which they cannot do. Because then they have to compete on our trust, which is not going to happen. They can't out-compete our trust.
And so I guess there's no risk in talking about this publicly, because if they would look at this, they would just laugh at us.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, for sure. Guaranteed.
There's like C-level ImmoScout people will look at this and be like,
I mean, whatever. First off, nobody would ever show this to C-level because they would risk their reputation inside the company.
So there's this hierarchical structure where information doesn't even flow freely.
If, like, I'm not calling my CEO on a random Tuesday. Like, And I do enjoy quite a bit of mindshare with our CEO. He knows who I am. I mean, that's the mindshare I'm talking about. But I would only bring stuff to him if it's of the highest importance and my immediate superior can't handle it. Like I'm often relaying messages through my superiors to the CEO, like there's one level in between, of where I want things to go, the direction of the team, how we approach things, how communication works, change management, these kind of things. But I'm not talking to him directly.
How many people work at your company, maybe for context?
About 2,000. And we have this separate innovation startup-y kind of lab.
Yeah, this is Apex, where you're the head of engineering.
Exactly. Yeah. And it works, but only because we have the CEO buy-in, the leadership, the owners. And I'm sure ImmoScout does some sort of incubation, blah, 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 something here and there. But that's the issue, that this is classically described in the innovator's dilemma. They have this cash cow of ImmoScout right now, where they're earning, I think, like €1 billion in revenue per year. Please fact check me on that. I looked it up a few years ago and I'm not good with numbers. They're never going to give that up just on some unproven, risky thing on the side. So that's why I think we are in a good situation here, where we can be open, we can build this trust asset, and eventually we're going to have a good foundation to build our business on.
This reminds me a bit about Google, actually, and the changes they are doing. Never expected this from Google, but they are actually pushing LLMs everywhere, Gemini, and they are downscaling search. Like they're actually downscaling and reducing headcount at core search functions. So Google is really accepting that search is not going to be the prime way we interact with human knowledge anymore.
Yeah, I mean, they've probably read the innovator's dilemma and they are willing to cannibalize their cash cow.
Yeah.
Which is courageous.
I guess there's no alternative. They just have to try it.
No, but that's the point. Often, leadership and owners and shareholders prefer keeping the cash instead of taking on the risk of something bigger. You know, the anxiety of letting go of the certain in search of the uncertain bigger.
Let's see how it goes.
No. All right. First podcast, this time with 2 proper audio channels. Still a bit random, I think, but in this podcast series, we're going to try to package our insights from creating companies and also our day jobs to an extent, I think. And we're going to be there in irregular intervals, but...
And who's this content for? Do you have any idea? We have the people seeking flats, the people seeking renters, and this is for people seeking...
Both those, people who want to work for us as well. It's just to get a behind-the-scenes look of who we are, what we're working on, how we think, these kind of things.
Insight seekers.
Insight seekers, maybe.
Till next time, insight seekers. Talk to you soon.
All right. Ciao.
Ciao mit V.